Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and today me and my oddly shaped hair and all of this makeup are bringing to you a different kind of videos that you guys have kind of requested and that I have somehow just managed to get away with not making until now. So if you are curious, all of this right here is already up. I will link it right up here. It is the Mac and Patrick Starr, their newest duo right here. I just got done filming that and it will be up probably 1 to 4 days somewhere in there before the video you are watching now. So definitely go back and watch that if you're curious. I think it turned out pretty damn cute if I do say so myself. But this hair we just quit with. Like I don't even know. I don't have any good excuse. Like this is me trying to give myself like root lifting volume. Nothing. But you guys, today's video, look at this. We are doing an unprecedented thing on my channel. Who hates that glare? I do. So, you guys, today we are doing 10 product updates. These are products that I have previously done on my channel. I have already either done a first impression, a review, a whatever of them. And I only have 4 more links because I already linked one and you only get 5. So, only 4 of them will be linked up above. The rest, if I think they're pertinent or if I need to or whatever, I will link them down below. But these are all things that you will find somewhere more than likely on my channel. And if not, I will let you know. But you guys always ask me, Paige, has this been working? Do you love it? Do you blah, 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 blah? So, which I don't blame you because that's kind of important. So I will go through, I'm going to tell you how I've been using them, if I've been using them, if I've been liking them, all of that good detail. So let's jump in. So the first product we are going to jump into is this little guy right here. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Luminous Bronze Light. I love this bronzer so much. It's beautiful. The packaging is stunning in typical Hourglass form, right? And there is something so special about this. It's so expensive, but it works so beautifully on my fair skin. And I think because I went through, you guys, and I was like, okay, I need to find them a dupe. I need to find them an answer. What is it that makes this bronzer so much more than all the other more affordable bronzers? And honestly, you guys, the only thing I can come up with is the way that it layers and blends and sits on the skin. There is something about this that makes my skin look like I was actually in the sun. And I don't know about you, but like I can't spend more than 5 minutes in the sun without being like burnt to like lobster crisp, like ready to be served on a bed of lettuce for $29.95 situation. Now, I did go through and I swatched a bunch of other ones right here, which I will get into. That one right there, the Hourglass, is the one on the very bottom. And from top to bottom, you have the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Bronzant in the shade 01 Light, which is this guy right up here. Then right under that, you have the Physicians Formula Light Butter Bronzer, super light. Works also very good. This is a great drugstore alternative if you are super fair skinned like I am. It builds up really nicely and it gives a very nice sheen to the skin without looking like super shimmery or like you highlighted, but still really beautiful. And then last above that is the Physicians Formula. This is their Sun-Kissed bronzer. Now I'm not sure if this is the normal, like the regular butter bronzer. I have literally like 4 of these and they're all different colors and I don't know which one's the original and which one's not. So this is the Sun-Kissed one, and this one in my opinion is probably the closest that I could find to the Hourglass, just to bring it in real close. This one is Hourglass, this one is the Physicians Formula Sun-Kissed. So they're both very close, both in shimmer and in color. But for me, you guys, again, it all comes down to how it wears and applies to the skin. And I can't tell you enough that I've worn all of these. Like the other day, I was like, oh, I'm going to put one on one side, one on the other. And just no matter how I blended, no matter what I did, the Hourglass one, it just comes out ahead. But again, this is like 5 times the cost of this. So if you're looking for this, like, dupable, this same kind of look to the skin, a luminous bronze, again, not a matte bronze. We are not talking matte bronzes. We are talking shimmery, but like not too shimmery, but like healthy, like, ooh, I kissed my face to the sun, I got a little wet, maybe I put on a little tanning oil, that kind of a bronze. This is gorgeous, but this is also a good dupe if you're curious. But just as an update, I've been obsessed with this. I love how I thought that was going to be the fastest product, and it took the longest. So for the next one, we are talking about the Marc Jacobs Summer Collection. I will link this guy right up here. I did a full review. Oh wait, I'm missing one. I was missing the palette. I did a full review of the Marc Jacobs summer launch, and I am missing the new one of these that they came out with. It's not like I have it, I just don't know where I put it. I think I put it away, and I don't want to go disturb the piece over there, but I'm pretty sure that that's where it's at. What's this hair doing? But as far as this collection goes, you guys, I just wanted to revisit it for 1 second and kind of give you like my overall thoughts. These are the Do You Dewdrops by Marc Jacobs. These I still love. I keep them literally right next to me at all times. They are a great mix-in for foundation. You can put them under foundation, you can apply them as highlight, you can do so many things with them. And as a fair queen, okay, I do have to be careful because those do alter the color of my foundation a little bit, enough that it does darken it, but it adds like this beautiful bronze light from within moment that I really live for with those drops. So those are a huge A+ for me. The darker ones I was able to mix in with foundation in the same way, but the foundation had to be very, very, very light. I actually had to use a whitener to use those. So there still is a use for them. It's just I have to be much more selective, but those are still beautiful. They work the exact same way, and I do recommend them. Now this powder by Marc Jacobs, this is their 34 Invisible Finish line. This is a great powder if you do not have super fair skin. Because I have super fair skin, this is a more on like the yellowish side. You can kind of see it's not a true translucent, it's not a true invisible powder, as the name might lead you to suggest. When I apply this under my eyes, it looks beautiful, but I have to be wearing a darker color foundation than my natural skin tone. And if you guys have been watching my channel for any length of time, I could probably pull out any of these. Like, okay, here we go. The Dior Forever Undercover Foundation. This is one of my favorites. The color of this foundation is very naturally dark. It's 010, but it is very dark, and it's full coverage, but very dark on my skin tone. Like, this is probably like 8 shades too dark for me. Like, it's crazy. Maybe not 8, but it's a lot of shades too dark for me. Anyways, not relevant. If you have that color of a skin tone, this will look great under the eyes. If you are lighter than that, tread lightly, because this has more of that orange, like the banana powder cast to it. At least for me it does, because I'm so fair. And it makes my eyes, instead of looking bright, they look more dull and dungy because I have whiter, just whiter skin all over the place. So for me, that doesn't work for that aspect. And I did try it recently all over the face. I tried it in a video as well as, you know, just in real life. And excuse me, could we maybe not go in the gloss? And all over the face, it was also a little bit disappointing, mainly just because I felt like it took a lot to get my normal, like, nicely mattified effect. I think it works all over the face, but for me, this is just not like, ooh, I'm obsessed, I'm in love. I prefer the new Hourglass translucent powder to this if I had to pick one. But it's a great powder if you're a little bit more tan or deeper skin toned. Which brings us to the palette, and the beginning, short, middle, end of this palette, you guys, is that this is just a really nice, easy, throw-on day look palette. Marc Jacobs shadows are great. This really is a great little palette. My only argument with it was that I didn't feel like you could really pull a dark enough look with it. But if you're looking for a quick, like, throw it on the go, easy to travel, you don't really love, like right now I have a super dark, smoldering kind of moment going on. If you're not a big fan of that, if you're more of like a, hey, light kind of eye, maybe pop on some lashes and go out the door, this is a great palette. It blends great, and it works beautifully. The colors are fantastic. They blend out amazingly. It's, again, it's super expensive, but it is, in my opinion, really worth the money. I think it's good quality, and I use it just like on the go relatively often, so good job. Now, these next two we're going to do at the same time, get them out of the way at the same time. We have the KKW palette and the Dominique Latte palette. I got a bunch of questions from you guys. Is one of these better than the other? You know, should we buy both? Is it worth it buying both? And I have to say, you know, when you first look at it, you're kind of like, oh no, they're the same, they're super similar, blah, 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 which I do think, what in the hell am I doing? I do think that these are very similar to each other in the sense that they could almost be a dupe for each other. The only difference being this one has a shimmery blue and purple and this one has a matte blue and purple. Like, if you look at everything else, the shimmers are very similar, the mattes are super similar. And if I was like, Paige, you know, gun to your head, you have to pick one, I would go Dominique Latte palette. I think that it is such an amazing, like, the quality of this, PS, they're going to release another one. It's like their lemonade palette or something. I'm so excited. The quality from this brand, which it just launched, it's like a relatively new launch, you will hear pretty much, from what I understand, nothing but good things about this palette for a reason. I have reached for both of these palettes for like a week each solid just to use them in common, like everyday looks, fun looks, and everything in between. And I found that these ones, the Dominique palette, it just edged out the KKW just just enough. You know what I mean? It's not that these aren't good. These are super high quality. They are co-made with Kim Kardashian as well as her makeup artist Mario, and so he definitely knows quality. He knows that kind of stuff when he sees it, and these are great. I'm not saying they're not, but if I had to pick one, I would go Dominique all the way. I feel like it just edges it out just that little bit, just a little bit more blendable. The shimmers are a little bit more vibrant. Quality in both is great, but this one, whew. Now, I only pulled a couple things from this line. I will link it right up here, but I recently did a big old Fenty haul, and it was all the Fenty summer collection moments that she launched recently. And I reviewed them all. I've used them all. I've used them all several times, and I have to say, without a doubt, the quality is crazy. Like, I'm so impressed. Even these lip things, this is what I wasn't sure about. I thought, oh, I'm going to hate these. These are going to be awful, blah, blah, blah. And I had myself just geared up to think these were either going to be the coolest or the dumbest thing in the whole world. And what I found is that these are, don't get me wrong, they're probably the one thing in the collection that I'm not like obsessed with, but they definitely do have their place. Like, these look so beautiful. You want to like just throw on like a light pink lip and like give it a little va-va-voom. This is just such a great moment for that. You can pick what kind of color. Do you want it to be a little glossy? Do you want it to give it like a little iridescent vibe? Do you want to put like blue on pink? Do you maybe want to put some green on some nude? And that's where these really come in and these shine for me. The one that I'm looking at right now actually is the green, the blue, and the pink set. They're just really great quality. They last beautifully. They shine stunningly, but they don't carry with them a super goopy feel, which is great. For me, these are almost like a hybrid between a gloss and a lip topper. They don't feel thick at all. They feel a little bit oily, but not so oily that they're stripping off everything underneath of them like the lipstick or whatever. These are just, they're a big hit. The foils, oh my God. You guys, I love these. I love these so much. Now, as you know about me, or if you don't know, hi, I'm not like a huge fan of like putting this on as a highlight. I would never wear that. There's a very like avant-garde moment you can have, and you can have like a hot pink highlight or an orange highlight, and that's big, and that's her thing with this collection, and that's totally fine if that's your jam. I'm not that creative. For me, like, I tried using these ones over here, which I can't, this one is the hardest one to open. I tried using these as a highlight over here. This is the Minted Mojito in Sandcastle. Sandcastle is still too dark for me, but Minted Mojito is a beautiful, like, you want to look like an ice princess if you're super fair skinned. Hell, even if you're not super fair skinned, you want to look like an ice princess. That blue right there looks so beautiful on my skin. The other day I did like some really fun eye look, and I put that on, this one over here rather, and it looked so beautiful. My point being, the Kilowatt foils are worth it, as you saw in that video, or if you didn't watch it. I also picked up a regular Kilowatt highlight. That was beautiful as well. A lot more wearable. I love that. It's actually over in my collection. I've worn it several times since then. I think it is a great, great highlight. But these are beautiful on the eyes, on the face, on anywhere you're going to put them. They are amazing. And the Island Blings, which are the little like stick things that you put on your eyes and stuff. I love those. Those are so great. I think the quality is amazing. If I had the one, I would show you. It's the one that's like really bright and iridescent. That end, I've used it so many times as like just a little pop to the center of the lid, or, you know, a little inner eye this, or just a little bit of fun action all over. And I think it is so beautiful. The whole collection to me was definitely a hit, and it needed to make this video. So now I'm going to pop over to one that people are probably like, what? I will definitely link this video up above. This is the Tatcha Silk Canvas, and I did do a full review on this, and it was super expensive. It still is super expensive. It's been sold out all over the place. And in that first video, I was like, you know what? I don't think you need it. Like, it's not, you know, it doesn't make a huge difference, blah, 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 blah. And I don't disagree with what I said then. However, I have found myself using it a ton. Like, look at how much. And you only need a little bit of this stuff. A little goes a long way. And I've used it so much, and I've actually changed my mind only a little bit. I haven't been like, oh, I think so differently now. But I think the difference is how I view this product. I don't put this on as a primer for right now. Most people, when you put on a primer, you're kind of like, ooh, I want it. If it's meant to be like smoothing for your pores, or smoothing for your texture, or, you know, having one of these kind of effects, you want to see it quickly. You want to be able to see that immediately. If you're like me, you do. And for me, what I noticed is that this isn't one that I use and it happens right then. I don't go, oh wow, I'm so smooth and it's only been 5 minutes. No, not even a little bit. I look good with this one on in like 6 hours. That's where this one really shines for me, is when my makeup has been on for a while. I feel like it really does help to minimize this texture. Doesn't do much for the nose, but like right through here, if I take it and I just really press it into this area, a little in my chin, maybe a little up on here, because y'all, I even got a porous upper lip. I'm convinced I have the face of a man. Like, what do you guys think? I mean, it's a little bit chickified right now, but I have the face of a man, like big old man pores. I got man brows and mustaches and all kinds of shit happening on my face. But what I think about this one is I think, do you need it? No. Like, I'm still going to stick to that because I think there are a ton of other primers you can find that are smoothing and great and amazing in that respect. But I do feel like this one actually does what it says it will do, and it does it later in the day, which I think gives it a little bit of uniqueness for me. Now, I will say, based on what I've read and seen and, you know, just heard about from other people that have tried it, I think I'm one of the only people that feel that way. A lot of people, they either try it and they hate it, or they try it and they love it, and they don't have the same experience I had. So this is one of those moments where I'm giving you guys my personal update, like I do for everything, obviously, but I'm telling you that I am probably the odd one out for this particular product because, again, I think I'm the only person that's like, oh, I think it makes a difference in 6 hours. Most other people, you know, they put it on, they put on their foundation, they finish their face, and they go, holy crap, this made such a big difference. And for me, unfortunately, that's not the case, but at least, you know, it does do something, which is huge. Why? My hair, like in one clip, it looks normal, and then in the next time I look, it's like like homeless. Like, what is going on? So this one is going to be quick, sweet, to the point. This is the Perception Shayla ColourPop collab situation. This sold out. Everyone was raving about it. And what I have to say about this palette is that I think it's absolutely stunning. My opinion of it hasn't changed. I still think it's great. I think the quality is there. The shimmers, the mattes, everything in here blends out. It has so much pigmentation. Like, it's beautiful. Some people were kind of, you know, pissy peevy. It only has, I think, it only has 4 matte shades, which are all like right here. You know, you have like 3 crease colors and then a deep matte brown. Don't get me wrong. If I had to choose what I was going to have for crease colors, those would be my crease colors. Is it kind of a bummer? Yes. Do I see the direction and where they were going with this? 100%, and I support it. The reason that this palette is different and unique, I also said it in that video, is because it carries with it more of a grungy vibe. When all the other palettes are coming out, like another palette I'm going to talk about here in a second, they're very bright, they're very like lustrous, they're very summer, springtime, and then here comes this one and it still carries with it this beautiful, where was I going with that word? But it still carries with it this like beautiful grungy moment, and it's just deep and it's sultry, and the colors, they're both like sexy and exciting and just all these things in one. And I love that when they launched this palette, it was unexpected. You would not expect for this to launch going into summer, but I feel like if anything, this palette, it excited me, and it made me feel excited to play with a palette. And I have to say, you guys, I've used it several times. I think these are great. And if memory serves, I think I even used the shade Unbothered as like a highlight topper on my cheek, and it looked stunning. Not right now, but I did use this guy up here, and it was gorgeous. Like, these are just beautiful. They melt into the skin, and I love this palette. Now, the other pop of color I was talking about is this Natasha Denona. I have gotten quite a few questions from you guys in all the various comments. Thank you, by the way. I love it when you guys comment. But I've gotten a ton of questions about this. Paige, do you love it? Is it worth it? Blah, 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 right? And I think here's the thing. Natasha Denona palettes are expensive. This is like $125. I know. It comes with this big old mirror. It is like plastic, which I'm not a huge fan of because I feel like if any of her palettes were to break, it would be this one. I don't know. I like them better when they're in like that faux leather. Maybe it is leather. I don't know. But it's like a more of a cloth feel, and it just has a little bit more bend. It's not so rigid. With that being said, I do love this palette. I think it's beautiful. I love the color arrangement in this palette. But do I think that, like, oh, you need to run out and buy it? No, I don't. If it was her normal formula, I would say yes, but I'm convinced, I can't find anything online that corroborates my story, but I'm convinced this is not the same formula. I have her Lilac palette, I have her Sunset palette, and I have her 227 palettes. So I have 4. Do I really have 4? Oh my god, I think I have 4 other Natasha Denona palettes. That's terrifying. And they all have such a different feel, blendability, texture, everything than this palette does. Again, maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I think it's a beautiful palette. Do I use it? Yes. Am I actually inspired by it? Yes. The main color I'm drawn to, I'm not gonna lie to you, is this beautiful blue right up here. I've used it so many times. That was horrible. What did I just do? But I have used this blue so many times. It's bright, it's reflective, it's just such a sexy blue. But do I think that, you know, if you were to buy that whole palette for that, I wouldn't be nearly as attracted to this palette. But overall, I don't think you need it. I personally love it. I'm also a big Natasha Denona fan. I'm bummed that it's not the same. but I just, ugh, you know, for me, I wouldn't be like, oh God, run out and buy this. I would probably tell you to run out and buy 10 other palettes before this one. I think it's good quality. If you have it, you'll like it for the most part. I hope, I think, I do. But like, you know, no, I don't think you need it. Now here's a collection no one probably expected to hear me talk about. This is the Too Faced Natural Eyes, Natural Face. I have a couple of the lippies right here. I did a full review. I will link it up here. You guys, for me, this was really rough because when I reviewed both of these, I was like, no, I'm not impressed. I don't love it. And now I'm kind of split a little bit. The eyes, I'm still not obsessed with. I've used this quite a few times, obviously, since that video because it's been a minute. And this is the Natural Eyes Shadow Palette. It's difficult to see because of all the all that reflection right there. I think it's a beautiful palette. I just don't think that you need it. I don't find that there is anything super like, oh yes, you have to have it. It does smell good, but there's just nothing in here that I'm like, oh, it makes such a great day palette. Oh, it makes such a great fill in the blank. I feel like for all the space here, like they totally screwed me. Look at all of this wasted space. Y'all could have squished these together. You could have given me another row of colors. You could have done something to make this palette worth the price. So for me, the eye palette, I'm still not like, oh, you know, yes, please, God, send me another one. But when it comes to the natural face palette, this guy right here, this one I've come around to a little bit. I'm still not obsessed, but at least I like it a little bit more. I do really like this pink sand blush right up here. I love the Sunny Honey bronzer down here. I've come to like that a lot. Then when it comes to these two highlights over here, I think they're okay. I definitely prefer Satin Sheets to Starlight. This one looks very pink in pan. They both do, when in reality only this one is pink. This one comes off a lot more gold champagne-y on the skin. So I like this one a lot more. It's still not my favorite highlight, but I do like it. And this blush is the only thing that I'm like, like it's really bright. If you go in with a super light hand, it can give you a nice, beautiful flush to the cheeks. Whoa. But I don't know, it's just not my favorite. And then when it comes to this Tropic Like It's Hot, I think it's a beautiful bronzer. It's just so like deep for me. Like, look at that. Like what? I could not use that for anything. I have used it all over the eye before and it was beautiful for that because it has that really nice sheen to it. So I guess like I did come around to this a little bit, but do I still think it's worth it? No, but at least I've grown to like this one a little bit. The lipsticks, I'm not gonna lie, I've used them. I still love the component. I love that they're more of like a metal structure. The one thing that bummed me out with these was just the lack of excitement in the colors, and I wasn't as obsessed with the fact that I thought I was getting different colors than what I got. Like these are not the colors I thought I picked out online. I even went back and checked, and when I just looked at the swatches and how they looked on the paler-ish models versus how they look on me, I was frustrated. Like, yes, I use them. They're a good formula. I think if you pick these up in the color you actually want, I think you'll like them. But I was just kind of bummed, but I do love the packaging. So I love the packaging on that whole line though. It's stunning. Now I believe this brings us to the last product on my 10 update list. These are the Makeup Revolution foundation sticks, and I threw these in here. I'm actually wearing F2, this one right here, on my face right now. I am working on mixing it in with the, but I'm actually working on mixing stick foundations in with this new Cover FX custom blotting drop. I just recently reviewed this. I will link this up here. If I didn't say this, I will link the Makeup Revolution one as well, but I'm working on mixing it in with this today just to see how I like it, because here's the deal with these. These are beautiful. They are dewy and luminous to the skin. I think if you have dry skin, you might really enjoy these. Combination skin, yeah. Oily skin, like you might want to slow your roll. I obviously, if you don't know, I have oily skin, and where my biggest issue with these came in is they look so gorgeous on the skin, but I can't get them to stick to my face because I have these massive textured man pore, you know, terrainy faces, mountains on my face, and it makes it so difficult for anything to stick to it. Like the nose, I put these on and then I do my little bit of, you know, blushing little bronzer on the nose here, and yeah, instantly it just kind of like strips off. I have a really difficult time. Now today I went in with those custom blotting drops. I didn't have that issue. I went on, it stuck pretty well for the most part, and so for me, I think I'm playing around with these, but I do love them. I think the coverage is actually beautiful. I think they sit beautifully. They feel very nice on the skin. They're quite luxurious. I don't know. I like the consistency of these. I've used them quite a few times, obviously. I have not used F4 because F4 is quite dark, which if you are curious, in the video that I put up on my channel, I picked up F1, 2, 3, and 4 just so you could see see the lightest 4 in the shade range. And again, you can look at that. They're all swatched, and then how I use them, which ones I used, blah, blah, blah. It's all in that video. But for me, I think these are a great choice for the drugstore, especially for dry skin. I think they're beautiful. They're dewy, they're luminous. And if you can find a way to make that work for you, boo, you gonna like them. And you guys, that is it for my 10 products that I am now updating. Be sure to leave down in the comments when I do another one of these, if and when I get around to doing another one, if you guys like them. Let me know what products you would like updated down there. I know that you guys always want updates on everything that I'm testing. I test out so much, so I think it's cool for me to be able to kind of circle back, tell you guys what I think, what I like, all that kind of, you know, good stuff, what I'm loving, what I'm not loving, maybe compare it to some other products, maybe throw a little shade. You know, it's what I do. So you guys definitely let me know, what do you think of this video? Is this something you'd like to see more of in the future? Leave that down in the comments as well. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. As always, I really appreciate it. I think you guys are the best. And oh, if you happen to be perusing that description box, feel free to check out my other social media handles. I have Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and Twitter. Mainly on Instagram lately. Been loving the Insta stories. I'm not going to lie to you. It's just like where I hang out. But I'm also on Twitter quite a bit. And then the other places I've kind of like set aside because I couldn't connect as much. It was like a whole thing. So you guys let me know, what do you think? And oh yeah, we should pull this out from under behind the ears. What did you think of the hair behind the ears while we're on the topic? Okay, so you guys, how about you go have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this. I'll see you in the next one because I'll be looking crazy. Ooh, we came, we saw, we updated all the products, all the products, all the products, all the products.